All right, let's jump right into a topic that, let's be honest, affects so many of us, often in private. We're going to talk about that incredibly complicated relationship we have with our bodies, our appearance, and when you boil it all down, our self-worth. We'll break down the pressures, get real about the signs, and most importantly, look at the paths to healing.
And this quote, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? This isn't some isolated individual feeling. It's a shared experience, and it's shaped by the world we live in. So if you've ever felt that pressure, I just really want you to hear this. You are so not alone.
Okay, so let's dive in. Where does that nagging, critical inner voice actually come from? What are the forces, both outside of us and inside of us, that shape what we see when we look in the mirror? You know, the wild thing is how all these pressures team up against us. It's that endless scroll of perfect-looking lives on social media. It's the beauty standards we see in movies and ads. And then you add our own internal drive to be perfect. That combination, it can create this really powerful, constant feeling that we're just not measuring up. So let's see how those big general pressures can start to show up as really specific feelings and behaviors. As we go through these next few slides, just kind of take a moment and quietly ask yourself if any of this sounds familiar. This is a big one. This is usually where it starts. And we're not talking about just having a bad day here and there. We're talking about a chronic, lingering unhappiness with how you look. And man, that is such a heavy weight to carry around every single day. And that unhappiness, well, it often spills over into our relationship with food. This question is really asking us to look at our actions. Are we using food to feel in control? Or maybe it's become the only way we know how to cope with big feelings when we don't know what else to do. And this right here, this is the key. This is the bottom line. When thoughts about your body and food start taking up all the space in your head, when they start impacting your happiness and your life, that is the clearest signal you can get that it's time to get some support and reclaim that space for yourself. You know, sometimes just having a name for what you're going through can be a huge, huge relief. It tells you you're not crazy, that what you're feeling is real, and it's the very first step to finding the right kind of help. So let's just demystify a few of these terms. This is so much more than just not liking something about yourself. With body dysmorphia, your brain gets stuck on a loop, obsessing over a flaw that, honestly, other people probably don't even see. It is an incredibly distressing thing to experience. When it comes to anorexia, it is so crucial to understand what's driving it. This isn't just about wanting to be thin. It's almost always rooted in a really intense fear and a deep need to feel in control when maybe the rest of life feels totally out of control. For these conditions, the key word is cycle. They're defined by this vicious loop that almost always happens in secret, and it's followed by this wave of shame and guilt, which of course just fuels the cycle all over again. It's incredibly hard to break out of on your own. Look, a lot of us do this sometimes, but it becomes a real problem when food is your main or maybe even your only tool for dealing with your feelings. It's a coping mechanism that's basically sending up a flag that says, hey, I need some healthier ways to handle this stuff. I know hearing all of that can sound pretty heavy, but here is the most important thing I want you to hear today. There is hope, 100%. There are proven, evidence-based ways to recover. So let's open up the toolbox and see what's inside. Recovery isn't just one thing. It's a whole process. It starts in your head by literally rewiring those automatic negative thoughts with therapies like CBT. Then it moves into your actions, helping you build healthier habits. And finally, it gets to the absolute core of the issue, rebuilding your self-worth so that it has nothing to do with your appearance. And real healing, it's a team sport. It's not something that happens in a vacuum. A holistic approach just means that your mental health support is working hand in hand with your physical health. Your therapist, your doctor, a nutritionist, they're all on the same team. And that team is Team You. Taking that step to ask for help is massive, so it's really important to know what you should be looking for. A truly supportive and effective environment has a few key things in common. You 100% deserve to feel safe, to be seen, and to be understood. That means finding professionals who really get it, who have special training, who respect your background, and who create a space that is totally confidential and completely free of judgment. That's the foundation healing is built on. Okay, let's bust a few myths, starting with one of the biggest, and frankly, most dangerous ones out there. So many people put off getting help because they think they don't look sick enough.
Let me be as clear as I possibly can be on this. Not at all. Your weight has absolutely nothing to do with how much you're struggling or how much you deserve support. Period.
This is such a critical truth to absorb. Your pain is valid no matter what the number on the scale says. These issues are about what's happening in your head and your heart, and that can happen to anyone, in any kind of body.
And here's another doubt that comes up a lot. I mean, it's a fair question, right? When these thoughts have been your constant companions for years, it can feel totally impossible to imagine life without them. Can you really change a pattern that runs that deep?
Yes, absolutely yes. Now, it's not a magic wand, and it definitely takes work, but therapy gives you the actual tools to challenge and reframe those obsessive thoughts. It's a process, and it's all about slowly but surely improving that relationship you have with your body.
As we wrap up, I really want to leave you with this idea. The pressure to be perfect might be what got you into this struggle in the first place, so the way out has to be paved with self-compassion. It's all about progress, just taking small steps forward, not making some impossible jump to being perfect. Ultimately, this whole journey is about reclamation. It's about taking back your power from that inner critic and all those outside pressures. It's about deciding that you deserve a life that's defined by your health, by your voice, and by your own self-respect. Thanks for being here today.